Let me know, is this the life I'm supposed to live? Is it really worth it? Let me know. Did my whole life lead up to this? Did I find my purpose? Let me know.
Good morning, and welcome to the Humans Against Extinction podcast. This podcast is an SOS to anyone listening, and the mission of Humans Against Extinction is to prevent the self-imposed extinction of the human race. Therefore, our audience is every human who hears the sound of my voice, any humans with whom you interact, and any humans over whom you have any amount of influence. There are 3 domains that we are aiming to focus on in our quest to prevent our self-imposed extinction, and those are ecological, the most obvious, our natural environment; physiological, which is the sustainment and health of our own bodies, because the earth and our bodies are the only 2 places that we have to live; and third is occupational, because we spend the majority of our lives working, and that work should contribute to our species thriving, not only surviving, and certainly not pushing ourselves to our very own extinction. So this is the introductory episode. We're really just proposing the idea, giving you an overview of what Humans Against Extinction is, what we hope to do together, and that hope is really rooted in, like I said, an SOS, sounding the alarm, shooting up the flare. My name is Alan Loren. I'm the founder of Humans Against Extinction, and I'm going to be the host of this podcast and this exploratory journey that we are embarking upon. I am not an expert in many things, and there are many things that are contributing to our slow and eventual extinction. And that's why this podcast is really positioned as an SOS, and the audience is everyone who can hear my voice and all the people who you may affect. If you are in supply chain, we got something for you to do. If you're in event planning or event management, there's something that you can do. If you are a caretaker, there's something you can do. If you're an educator, there's something you can do. If you are a botanist, we're here in the community garden today, there's something you can do. If you're an architect, a city planner, a builder, I'm trying to think of what other jobs there are in the world. If you're in transportation, if you're in materials, if you are in waste management, if you are in literally any sector, any industry, we got something for you. There's action that you can take that I hope you will be inspired and informed enough to take by participating in this podcast, in this program, in this project. So this is episode 1. I don't have much to say. I really just wanted to lay it out for y'all. To learn more, please go to humansagainstextinction.org. There you will find our 7 principles of humanism. You'll find what is humanism, because I made it up, just like every other word in the English language is made up. And it is the concept that everything we do, everything we make, should contribute to the thriving of human beings and the continuation of our species and our longevity in our bodies, in our minds, on our planet, and in our work. We'll get more into these 7 principles as we get into the episodes of the podcast, because each of the issues that we break down in the discussions that we have and the changes that not only I suggest, but I hope this is a conversation, the changes that you suggest, as you all are going to be the experts in whatever your domain knowledge is, that we will use these 7 principles as our compass, as our filter, if you will, to understand, okay, is this something that will contribute to our longevity, or is this something that is contributing to our eventual self-imposed extinction? So we'll talk about food, we'll talk about education, we'll talk about government, but we won't just talk about these things. We together will make a plan for action. And so when I say together, again, a conversation, drop a comment, share, discuss, post on the website, post on whatever social media you see this on. Let this be conversation at the dinner table. Let this be a conversation at your next staff meeting, at your next leadership meeting, a question that you ask of those people who you also believe have the authority to make the changes that we'll be discovering. As an expert, I'm appealing to your knowledge, to your expertise, to your will to live. When I first thought of Humans Against Extinction, the question that was the staple that I was like, ooh, that feels like it's coming in a little strong, but it still remains, is do you want to live or do you want to die? That's what we're talking about here. That's what we're talking about here. Serious as a heart attack, as the old saying goes. And the things that we are going to be discussing are that serious. If you have a child, you should be concerned about the world that they're going to grow up in. If you are alive, really, like, it doesn't even have to be about the children. My grandmother is 88, right? Good Lord says the same. That means I got 55 more good years ahead of me. And I don't know what there's a plane overhead. I don't know how that's going to change the audio or whatever. I'm new at this. Okay, bye. If you're in aviation, I know I mentioned transportation before, but it's like things like sustainable aviation fuel or the limits that we have on batteries. We're solely relying on combustion as a means of travel, like all of these things and what the consequences of those things are. I'm a dilettante, okay? I know a little bit about a lot of things, and that's why I feel well positioned to be able to start this conversation, but certainly not an expert enough to dig deeper into each of these areas that need to be dug into in order to find those solutions, in order to start those conversations, in order to provide and create those solutions. So yes, if you are alive, if you are of the human species, this is the project, this is the program, this is the thing to get involved in. This is the conversation to get involved in, because we are all about the action, okay? It's funny when you start something and be using like we language, but at this point it is a we, because I'm putting it out there. If you are listening to my voice, it's me and you, all right? It's me and you. We locked in. And I know other kind of survival or ecological programs talk about, yes, the animals, and yes, the trees, and yes, the soil. And all of those things are, of course, being affected. Endangered species are real. All of those things are valid. And also, we are also an endangered species. And all of these things ripple into our own. And so call it selfish. Sure, I do believe that humans care more about the humans than they do about the pandas or the fish or whatever else that is on the list of things to perish based on the changes that we ourselves have made in our natural environment. And there are also folks that don't believe in the Anthropocene. There are people who are like, climate change isn't real, whatever. And that's why we're not focused on climate change. We're literally focused on making sure that our natural environment continues to be hospitable for the flourishing of our species. Natural environment, physical environment, right? I know we are definitely in an era of body positivity, and I'm not here to knock body positivity. I am here for it, okay? And also, health is health. Our bodies are machines. They feed off of certain inputs. They inflame from certain inputs. And this can vary from person to person, of course. And also, if you're a member of the species, there are some standard things. And if we don't think of our bodies as machines, if we just think of them as receptacles and you could just throw anything in there and it'll work, put some sugar in your gas tank and see how well your car runs. You can't just throw anything into a machine and expect it to perform, not even an optimum level, but perform to a satisfactory level. Folks around here talking about, oh, this hurts, oh, I don't understand why, oh, I don't understand. We need to understand why. And once we have that understanding, as my mama used to tell me, when you know better, you do better. I say used to tell me, she still tells me that. And so this is all about knowing better, knowing what benefits our bodies, our minds, our planet, the only places we have to live. There's another plane. I'm right on the flight path. And our work. How many people, even listening to me right now, dread waking up in the morning and going to do what they have to do? Know that what they are going to do for work, that they have to do because of capitalism. Goodness, capitalism is going to be a series of episodes in and of itself, because Lord have mercy. But knowing that what you do is contributing to our self-imposed extinction, right? It's like we know these things, and yet it seems like there's not a lot we can do about it. We either don't know what to do, or it seems that we would be the only folks who would be doing it, so what difference does it make? Or that we've been focused on the longevity of everything else, but not ourselves, and don't realize that we are the ones that are endangered. Another thing that I think some programs that are focused on ecological or multi-species preservation, because we are singularly focused, we trying to preserve ourselves. And there are ripple effects to that, right? Like we need trees to breathe. We expel carbon dioxide, we inhale oxygen. Trees are natural things that turn what we expel into what we inhale, and that's needed. We need trees. Okay, I speak for the trees have no tongues. So there are, of course, things that we need to preserve in order to preserve ourselves. themselves, but I think some of those programs focus on disruption of conveniences as well, right? So there was another plane that flew overhead. We are international now. People need to travel. So the idea, like Miss Greta would put out, I can't say her last name correctly, but y'all know who I'm talking about, is that, okay, we shouldn't use planes because planes are detrimental to the environment. Okay, yes, and yes, planes are in their current state detrimental to our environment. And we now live in a society where we can't just say, oh, I guess we're not going to travel anywhere where I have to take a plane to now. I have to be able to drive, which also detrimental, or go on foot. We're going to go back to horseback. None of that is happening. Planes are here. International commerce, travel, everything is here. So how can we change how that works to be able to contribute to our survival rather than our self-imposed impending extinction? As we delve into topics, as we delve into whatever we get into, I again, for the third time, because we know great things in threes, implore you to engage in the conversation, to lend your expertise, discuss with the people over whom you have influence, and talk with them about what opportunities there are, where you know, even in your personal life, in your professional life, where you are contributing to things that you know are contributing to your death, either individually or collectively, and reflect on that. And you may not know what to do about it today, and that's okay. That's what we're going to get into, and that's what we're going to share with each other. You may be feeding your machine, your mental or your physical machine, crap, for lack of a better word. But you may not know how your machine truly functions because you're not taught that. Instead, we're taught about cosines and when numbers become letters, and about tariffs before we even knew what a tariff was. When we got these tariffs imposed, I had to go back to my 5th grade brain to think about, okay, wait, what does this mean? I don't think it's a good thing. Wait, what's going on? I can name you half the presidents. I used to be able to name all of them, but I just forgot part of the song. All of these things that we were taught and yet never taught how to care for our bodies and our minds. Outside of PE class, shout out to the coaches. And even they are lacking some crucial information that we'll get into. So that's all I really came here to say. I'm simply a vessel, and I hope to facilitate not only a conversation, not only a project, as I've mentioned, but a movement of humans who are aware of what we are doing to ourselves and who are willing to pause, reflect, and take action to preserve ourselves and our future as a species. So thank you for your time. I look forward to our next time together, and the time after that, and the time after that, and all of the wonderful, amazing knowledge and ideas and what comes from this synergy. I'm excited, and I hope you're excited about the opportunity for hope. I think we need more of that these days. So, mwah, love you, human, and until next time.
If the road I'm on gon' take me to my dreams, let me know. Let me know.